Alright guys, it's the next day. Getting ready to get back on this job. That is there, and that's where I left off last night. Getting ready to flip her around and start working on it again. Already got the jaw set, getting ready to put her in here and get her chucked up. I'm just going to go ahead and chuck on this surface here. Sometimes I use copper soft jaws to protect the piece from marks that the jaws make, but I want a little extra holding power on this. That's why I've got it, I'm going to bump it up against the chuck and make sure it's square and indicate it good. But this piece right here, there's nothing that fits here and here. This is a hand operated deal that slides up and down that shaft. So putting some marks here where these chuck jaws are going to hold it is not going to hurt this item. And when I get done, I'll file it, make sure there's no high spots, and it'll be fine just like that. The other thing too is that this is a part that's used and abused. There's a lot of it gets banged quite a bit on this back end. I mean, as soon as the customer takes this and puts it in use, it's not going to look as pretty anymore. I mean, on day one, it's going to be covered in filth, hammer marks on it probably. So the chuck marks here is not going to be an issue on this particular part. So, getting ready to do some indicating. I just want to make sure that the piece is bumped up against the face of the chuck good. Go ahead and check the outer end and then check them again. I normally don't reposition the centers too much. I just watch my dials, all I do. Got two. That's how I bump the outer end out here. Come back to this end. You see we're out because they were crooked to begin with. You always want to make sure you get your highs good and tight. When you get it to the point where it feels like you can't really tighten it no more, that's when you go back to your low and you bump it loose. And that's just when you're within a few thousandths. If you got a few thousandths, always check your high, make sure that you're tight. That's less than a half a thousandths there. we've got to adjust this in again. About a 1/2 thousandths. Back to this end. I'm just trying to snug my hides. See if I can get that couple thousandths out of it without over tightening it. Like I said, that last thousandth sometimes can be a pain. Sometimes you hit a little bit too hard and you move it more than you want, and you got to go back. Alright, that's a thousandths. And it's not wanting to move, and it's tight. I'm going to call that done. It looks straight to me. I'm a half a thousandths here and a thousandths there. Plenty close enough. Alright, first thing I do is face it off the link, and it's going to finish 10 inches long. I got about a 1/4 inch to come off of this. Alright, got one final cut to make. I'm just using my scale to measure it, because as I said before, the length is not critical. It doesn't have to be within a few thousandths. Looks like I got about a 30-second to come off of it. I'm just squaring it up on the face of the chuck and against that chuck jaw. Line up on a 30-second line. It's going to dial in 30 thousandths. Give it a check. Looks like it's right on that 10-inch line, so I'd call that done. Alright, next thing I got to do, pick this around, give me a little angle. I'm going to go ahead and turn this to OD, and that's going to finish the part that I measured. It's 5 5/16. Have a whole lot of turning to do on this end. That's why I'm not using that flood coolant, just to kind of keep the mess off the machine, and the pump's leaking a little bit. I'm just going to do it dry. Alright. Basically about 1/8 of an inch. Alright. About 30 thousandths to come off. Alright, we got a face link, turn on the OD. The last thing that I got to do is right here, I've got to cut about a 30-degree angle right there. So I think I'm going to wait and just do that last. I want to go ahead and get this bore finished to size, and when I get that, then I'll clean this off and swing my compound. Well, I'm sorry, I don't even have to swing the compound. I can just use it like it is. I was thinking opposite there, but I'll deal with this whenever I'm done with the bore. I want to go ahead and get it finished up, and so I'm going to go ahead and start setting up for that. Alright, getting ready to start the board. This board is going to finish 2 7/16. Alright, I got it roughed out, pretty close to size. It's showing about 2" 3/85 on the calipers there. I'm going to go ahead and mic her. See about where I'm at. Inch 87. It's pretty warm, so I actually need to let it cool down some. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make one more pass down through there and get it kind of close. And I'm going to cool it off and take a finished pass. Alright, I got it cooled down. I used my flood coolant, cool it down. It only took a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give me a couple measurements here and see where I'm at. doing it 417. And getting about half a thousandths taper there. That ain't too bad. So I got about a 20 thousandths to come out of there. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to slow the feed rate down and take a 10 thousandths cut through there, see how it looks, see how the tool's performing, and if it leaves me a good finish, then I'll mic it and take a final cut. Speed it up a little bit. Drop the feed rate down to 5. And I don't want to use flood coolant in a bore like this because it's going to come right on through that and hit them jaws, and it's just going to splash it everywhere, and I don't want that mess. So I'm happy with cutting oil for this. Pretty smooth. Thirty-one and a half, so still getting about a half a taper. .432 that time though. That's why you always got to take a few measurements. I can feel a little bit of grit in there, so I may be micing a little tiny chip. Getting 432 that time, so it's pretty well straight. I mean, I'm sure it's maybe a few tenths off here or there. I'm just going to go ahead and dial in my final cut, and I want this to be real close to shaft size. I want to finish it like say 1/1000ths or 1/1000ths and a half over, because it does need to slide up and down that shaft freely. I don't want it to bind up, but I don't want it too loose either. I don't want to, 5/1000ths would probably be, it would work, but it's a little too loose. I just want it to have just enough clearance, because this piece here is actually going to go on the new shaft. So the new shaft will be machined right on size, and this should slide on there good. Alright, so I said 432. So go ahead and make a final cut. I'm going to go up one more notch on the RPM. like a nice finish in there. And let's see where we finished it at. That is right where I wanted it, 438. Got a little bit of surface rust on it. See if I can get it started straight. That's actually a pretty good fit there. Got a little bit of rust here, but all I got to do now I'll just run my flapper in there just a little bit, just to kind of clean any of the high spots out. And that bore's good. It bored nice and straight, just like I hoped that it would. And I pretty well got this finished. Just like I said, I'm gonna flap it a little bit. So I need to go ahead and I'm gonna put me a good chamfer here, chamfer the outside, and then work on this last bit that I got to do. Cut that bevel there. Alright, so I'm on to the very last part of the lathe work. I got to cut a bevel on this side right here. And once again, that is not nothing critical, but I measured the old part that I made, and it looks like I cut about a 30-degree angle across there. So that's what I'm going to do here. I got the tool set up, just going to use the compound like it is. I got it set on 30 degrees and get ready to cut here. That is right there at it, and it feels nice. I probably could have fed the carriage in another 5 to 10 thousandths and it would have brought me right on that radius, but it stops right at it, so I'm happy with that. It looks good to me. I just want to bring my tool around a little bit. and just put me a little chamfer right there on that edge. Just enough to soften the edge up some. Alright, that's it. I got the lathe work done. I think it all turned out pretty nice. I want to take it out of the lathe, and I'm going to clean all the oil out of it real good, wash it out, and I'm going to hit this bore in here with a flap wheel, and that'll kind of dress this up a little bit. It'll knock off any of the real high points, and probably give me another 1/2 to 1/1000 clearance. Alright, there it is, finished up. Got all the lathe work done. I'm about to stick it in the vise there and use my grinder. Got my little homemade flap wheel deal. I'm gonna go in there and hit it and flap the board just a little bit. I've still got a file down here. You can see where I chucked it, that I told you that was gonna make them marks, but I'm just gonna file that down. Just give it a little flap and test fit that plug one more time, and it'll be ready to roll. It's kind of an old piece of emery cloth on here, but I'm gonna see if it'll still work. That's it. That's all I needed. It's got just enough for a slip fit there. And that's it. Alright guys, I got all the lathe work done on the part. You can see it right there. It's ready to roll. Only thing I got left to do is to broach the keyways in there. And this piece here is a little bit different looking because this was off of a different piece of machinery, but it was very similar to what I built before. He actually had brought the old piece in that I made a while back and measured it, and that's how I made it look. I was just kind of using this as a you know, like a reference. So only thing I got left to do, I need to take this broach plug here, take that pin out. I'm gonna set it in the mill. I got to mill me a keyway down it, and then broach the keyways. And whenever I do the keyways, I'm actually going to broach the keyways at my other place that I work at. And the reason I'm doing it there is because I've got a electric press down there that I use for all my broaching, which actually used to belong to us, to our shop, but I use it so much for broaching keyways and things like that, that it was more useful having it where I work, have it on hand all the time. And that's why we actually sold it to them and we took it down there. So I'm going to actually do the broaching down there, and I don't know if I'm going to be doing any filming down there because I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of doing any more filming of the work that I do down there. I want to just try to keep it to my shop here, but I don't know, we'll see. I may have some pictures, or I might have a video. I don't know yet. I'm just going to decide whenever I do it. So that's it for tonight, And like I said, got the lathe work done. All I got left to do is broach the keys, and that part will be finished. I'm getting set up, getting ready to mill a keyway in this broach plug. Got to mill a 1/2 inch key down it. Pretty simple. Did a good job. The little mill always does a good job. It's nice and tight. And for you guys that you got a little mill, you ain't got flood coolant, get you that little cool mist system. That thing works great. You can use it for a lot of things. It ain't just good for the mill. I mean, you can take it over there to one of the machines, wherever, a drill press, a lathe, and have you some mist coolant. All right, so I got it milled, and just got to file it up, clean it, cut me a key for it, and I'm ready to broach some keyways. All right, getting ready to broach the first key. There's the broach plug. Got it modified with a 1/2 inch key to go in there. That'll line me up when I rotate it.
He's going to answer my call, so I don't know what he wants me to do.
See the key. All right, I used that little hole that I had where that roll pin was. I made me another little roll pin just to make sure that the key doesn't fall down through there. Let's see if I can get it knocked in. loose. It lined her up. I can do the other side. This should be it. This was a little bit snug. I gotta just bump it out of there. But that's about it for here. There's a little bit better shot of the machine. Got electric motor. Runs them gears and that screw, and you use the forward and reverse switch. Alright, I'm about done here. I'm gonna knock this out and load her up and take it to the house and get her cleaned up. I just got back from work, and you know, I finished cutting the keys like I showed you. Just thought I'd give you another shot of it. Finished up. There it is with the 2 keyways broached to it. I've still got to file it. Got some little burrs on there. And I've got one more thing I got to do, and I'll show you. On this side here, you see inside there, if you look at this one, in line with those keys that are broached, you have a piece that's welded in there, and it's like it serves as a key also. And the way you do it, you just lay a piece of rod in there and run a couple weld beads on each side, on both sides there. And that's the way they're made. That's the way I made it before, and that's how he wants it done this time. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll cut me a rod and just line it up with the keys inside there and run a weld bead on each side. And I can't tell you how that actually works. I've never seen it in operation, but I know that that's part of it, how it works whenever that thing's engaged and disengaged. All right, getting ready to finish this thing up, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Here's the threaded adapter that screws into the end of the shaft, and the drill stems screw onto there. You can see it fits down in there like so. All right, here's another one. You got the this one here, they just ran weld beads in there, and the way we did it before, take some 1/4 inch rod and just lay in here along in line with those keys, just clamp it in there and run a weld bead on each side. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. here. Alright, that looks good. I'll have to get in there and do a little bit of flapping, get rid of the little spatter pieces. I used to have some anti-spatter and I don't know what happened to it. I can't find it, so I got to get me some more. But got that one tacked, and I'm going to go ahead and get the other side tacked also. Alright, I got both rods tacked in there. Getting ready to weld it in with a 1/8 70/18. Get a shot of it. There's the first side welded in. Get it repositioned and do the other side. There it is. Alright, well, what I need to do is I want to run my flapper in there now to get rid of the dust and all the little spatters that ain't very many, but I see a few in there. And just kind of get it polished out. And I still got to file those keyways. I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to do all that and this piece will be ready. Just making the last key for the shaft. That's the 5/8 shaft. I'm sorry, the 5/8 keyway. Finally got all this stuff done. Thought I'd show you how it all goes together. Give you another shot of the finished repair job. There's the spacer that I made. Goes right there. Got the new keys made. I went ahead and made a new key for this keyway here. That's the 5/8. Of course, that's where I metallized it. And the new slide out tool. Got her cleaned up. And I'll show you how it works. That's it fits. Goes on there. So this job here is actually done now. I got all the parts made and it's ready to roll. So the next thing I got to do really is I've got to build another one of these shafts right here. That's the one that I already showed you that I've kind of got roughed in, and that'll be another job later. But anyway, this one's done, and I kind of enjoyed filming everything that I was doing and how to build it. And you guys have been giving me some pretty nice comments. I appreciate that, and I hope that you have been enjoying it, because I know I've been enjoying it. And I hope that I keep getting some interesting machine work in here that I can do and put on the camera and show you. See you guys next time.